Well, what a good start. Coughing. Hi, everyone. Welcome to November's office hours. I'm going to spend the next maybe 30 seconds just going over the format, how everything usually goes, and then we'll start right away. So, this is the office hours for Udemy students. Of course, it's on YouTube, so everybody from YouTube is welcome. The main goal of this call is if you have any questions on digital marketing, SEO, entrepreneurship, AI, productivity, anything that I teach on Udemy, if you have any questions on that, this is a great forum to ask me those questions because we can have kind of a dialogue. It's one way, it's me talking, but I can give you an elaborate answer as opposed to on Udemy or even in the YouTube comments. I can kind of type a few sentences, but that's usually the most I can do. But here I can give you the most, the longest, the fullest answers, and we can have a discussion. You can comment in the chat, which by the way, I very much encourage everybody to comment in the chat. By the way, the only way I see who's on the call and who's participating is if you're commenting in the chat. Because due to privacy considerations, YouTube doesn't actually show me who's on the call unless you actually comment in the chat. So that's how I'll know. So I see in the chat, there's one person silent, Arcos, early. Welcome. If you have any questions, let me know because sometimes I don't know the person's name. Like sometimes I see a name, but sometimes there's like a screen name. So you're also welcome to tell me what course you're taking and if you have any questions, what kind of questions you have, and then we'll get into it. So I have a little bit of an agenda that I wanted to cover on this call. I wanted to talk about what to do. There's all these changes for 2026 with AI. We're essentially 1 month away from 2026. And I wanted to talk about, digital marketing and entrepreneurship and how to approach 2026. But if anybody has questions, I'll prioritize that because that's the main point of a call like this. It's just if people have questions, let me know. Also, a lot of people join the call like after. I usually get some people on the call. This call I'm doing on Saturday, which is kind of a slow day because everybody else is having fun. I'm the only one working. But if you're watching this in the replay, just leave a comment. Usually I see them. I see most of them and I reply. Anyway, so what I wanted to talk about is how to adjust and what to do when you're facing 2026, no matter if you're facing 9 to 5 career issues or if you're trying to do entrepreneurship. And I was thinking, well, how do I address all of this and how do I discuss all this in a succinct way? And it occurred to me, I met just a couple of days ago an entrepreneur who was very open about what they're working on and their struggles, very open. And it was kind of in a small group setting. There was like 4 of us around the table. And everybody really kind of started feeling bad for that person's struggles, including me. And then when I left, I thought, that's kind of a familiar scenario where the person is talking, being very open about what they're working on, but like not really. But the main complaint was that they were stuck. And so I have a lot of experience with this exact scenario where people keep talking about their problems and they kind of are spinning their wheels and kind of are working about on the things they're trying to work on, but they're making next to no progress. And it's common. Like I see this very often. I would think it's like a one-off situation, but then they make next to no progress. Why do I bring it up? Well, because we're kind of in an era of reskilling. Because no matter what I say, if I talk about digital marketing, if I talk about professional skills, you have to reskill for AI. And some people say, well, AI has been around for 3 years. Everybody's taking advantage of it. No. AI is still relatively new, and the only people who say it hasn't been taken advantage of is people who aren't taking advantage of it and who aren't like deep in it. But I'll give you an example. Like I'm deep in it. Like I'm using 2 different AIs, like Replit for front end programming. I'm using Claude for more complex coding because Claude is a little better at it. I'm augmenting it with like ChatGPT to test its correctness. And so I'm like deep in it and I'm building stuff. And so I can kind of see a little bit more clearly what are the opportunities and where the AI is not ready, where it's actually ready, how to, if it's not ready, how to make it ready, right? So it's like you got to find your way by digging in. And I think a lot of people don't quite do it, right? They like tinker a little bit and then they're stuck, and then next week they're still stuck, and next week they're still stuck, and they're always kind of like tiptoeing their toes in the pool but never quite diving in. But my point here is that you've got to submerge yourself, because there's some reward people have, like from talking about their challenges, because it feels good. They're listened to, their issues kind of feel like they're getting addressed, although they're not really getting addressed, right? It's just you're getting, if you look at how the brain works, you're getting your dopamine not from the success of your work, but from just talking about things and having people listen to you, and people going like, "Oh yeah, yeah, this is great," giving you encouraging advice, encouraging words, and that conversation feels good. But the reward system is broken because the rewards are coming from getting attention from talking, rather than having rewards come because you're actually succeeding in some kind of work. That's the broken part, and that's where I see, like, most people are dealing with this. And it's so pertinent because we're in this juncture of intense reskilling. And if you're reskilling kind of a little, tiptoeing in and just a little bit and talking about it more than you're doing or equivalent, that's kind of like a sign that maybe you got to do this rule of like, if you're going to talk about it, you have to do 80% more work than you're talking about it, right? It's kind of a self-policing rule. And I actually came up with this rule like a few days ago, because there isn't such a rule really. And in entrepreneurship, people struggle, and they struggle very much often because of themselves. Like they're like, the same thing that holds them back this week is the same thing that's going to hold them back next week, and the same thing hold them back a month from now and a year from now. And so nobody pushes people, nobody gives a framework for like, how do you overcome yourself? And there's very it's not, and it's an unexplored area. Like psychology doesn't have um, a say on this. There's no say on this in scientific research. It's just a phenomenon that's kind of in the gray area of entrepreneurship, and it's chalked up to, well, you can't help everybody. But that's kind of unsatisfying. So I came up with this idea that you've got to do 80% work, and or like 80/20, right? Like 80% you're working, whatever you're working on, the work is going to get you more expertise and going to get you closer to interesting solutions and interesting ideas and skills. That's going to be the work, and the talking has to be 20%. So if you're going to be talking about it for an hour or something, you better put in 5 hours of good work. And I really like that formula because I've been doing business coaching already for over 10 years, and I struggled to help people who are their own worst enemy. Like, you can give a lot of business strategy advice, you can give marketing advice, but if the person doesn't do it, you can't force them to do it. And I kind of like this little formula for reskilling. Um, and That's what I wanted to share. If you're watching this on replay or if you're just joining the call, um, the the, re, the that and I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna actually give this a name. I haven't named this yet. I got to give it a catchy name, and then I have to like push it forward because I think it's a real thing. And I myself felt very bad over the years because I couldn't help some people, um, because they were just kind of like in their own way, and I would get on a coaching call with them and everything sounds great and they would agree, but then they wouldn't do the work. So what's the point? And it became kind of disheartening for me because it's, heartbreaking. Like, why doesn't the person help themselves, and why don't they uh, make progress? So yeah, If anybody has a good name for this or ideas for a name for this, I'm open. I'm also just going to consult with ChatGPT and get a good name for it, so I don't have to think about it too much. But I think it would be helpful. Um, so that's the theory of it, and I started with theory. Theory can be boring, but because people want practical advice, but um, sometimes the mindset is the most important thing, because if you don't have the mindset, nothing else works. Um, so that's that. Um, and I think in terms of actual reskilling and actual skills, in terms of what I'm doing for my business, I'm deeply in the programming, which I didn't even think I would be, because I kind of left that world. I used to be a software engineer, and I kind of left that world because it's just too painstaking to program, and it's a little hard to focus on business strategy and execution and programming. But because of all these tools like the program for you with AI, like Replit and Claude, I'm able to do things that I would never be able to do otherwise. Like I'm able to, like it would take me 6 months or 3 months of just learning the programming to build specific things, and maybe more, because sometimes you need this programming language for this, but you need this API for this, and you end up having incredibly long learning curves. But the AI already knows how to program it. So I find myself actually exploring interesting business ideas that I would never be able to do because it's too time consuming. But I'm able to program them like 50 times easier, still not trivial, but 50 times easier than if there was no AI programming. So I'm finding a lot of opportunity with creating software with AI. That's me. And I've been making courses about that as well, and I plan to add more. But so that's what I'm doing for actual like entrepreneurship. I think for people who are looking to excel in career, there's a lot of concern in 2026 about, is AI automation going to take my job? Am I going to be unemployed? When is this happening? I actually thought that my own job, like creating content on Udemy, is going to go away at some point. And I thought that in like beginning of 2024, and here we are in 2026, still okay. It's kind of been a decline year, uh, but not totally dead like I thought it would be, um, which is good. So it seems like instead of a precipitous drop, industries are experiencing like a slow decline. There may end up being a slow decline towards a precipitous drop in terms of like jobs and business, with those things getting killed by AI. But generally, it's been slow decline for a lot of industries, which is good because people have a runway to reskill, which is also a thing. Like instead of complaining and being sad about, oh, AI is killing my job, you don't want to be a one-trick pony. I think you have to just relearn. It's like a reality of the workplace today. People who don't want to learn, they do get left behind. And knowing that, you have to kind of make yourself the person who learns and learns and learns, um, just improving your own skills. Um, it's kind of a hard mindset because a lot of people don't want to do that, but it's necessary. And if you do learn and reskill, then you kind of open yourself up to the opportunity of, instead of having your job being automated by AI, well, somebody's always going to have to operate the AI tools, manage the AI tools. And if it's you, that's a high paying job, because then you can manage a lot of projects, right? And you're going to be valuable. Not only you're going to be valuable as an employee at a company, but you can get a lot of freelancing work and agency style work by saying, hey, I can use AI coding to build this thing for you. I can build your website. I can build you a software application. There's a lot of things you can do now that, like most people, they don't even have any idea how to do it. It's not that hard, but like they don't want to learn and reskill, so they want to outsource it. And it's perfect for you if you learn how to code or even do basic coding things or basic technical things with AI, mind you, without knowing how to code, just by using AI for coding. Um, that can be an incredible business opportunity today, because you can tell everybody, just like you don't even have to be technical in your marketing, because a lot of people are prevented from succeeding in this sort of a business by saying, because they are not good marketers. But even if you go to like a entrepreneur meetup in your local area and you talk to people, let's say you talk to 10 people, 10 of them will have like, hey, I'm working on this idea, I want to build an app, or I want to build a website, and I want to build software. And then your answer is, I build this for people twice cheaper than an engineer might, and twice faster. They would want you to do it for them. So it's a very easy sell today to build websites and software for people, because it's so much cheaper and faster than the alternatives. They'll appreciate you for it. They'll want to have follow-up meetings to explore how you can help them. Um, so that's, I think, a very easy to promote, very good business for 2026. And I think this actually not only is, yeah, you're going to get paid, but I think there's a higher value to it, in that, let's say you spend a project, like you build software for a client 1 month, another software for another client a different month, you build in different things. But as time is going on, what's really happening is you're getting paid to become a super expert in creating software with AI. And suddenly, this kind of a job description is super valuable to like Fortune 500 companies and mid-sized companies. You can get really high-paying jobs and have your freelancing or agency work on the side. Like, this is actually quite lucrative, and it's today easy to promote, because you don't need that many clients. I mean, although you want as many as possible. If you're like a kung fu ninja with digital marketing, you can get many clients, but you can just get clients by networking, and you can get clients like that for different niches. For example, instead of coding, you can, what about being a consultant for AI ethics? It's a pretty easy field. It's a thing now. AI ethics. It's a thing at companies. You can get a job with that. Or like, nobody knows ethics or AI ethics, but they're both relatively easy. I mean, kind of, but it's doable. Similarly to like creating custom GPTs for companies, it's doable. It's easy. People don't want to learn it, so if you learn it, you get ahead. All these little skills that are very high paying today, if you just dig into the AI, right? Like, you wouldn't dig into it just like sitting there and thinking, what should I do? AI, I don't know anything about AI. But as soon as you start working with AI, even if you have a toy project, even with like a toy theoretical project, those usually or sometimes become real businesses as well. But there's so much learning, and then next steps, and then the experience you get will feel to other people like you are like miles ahead and a super expert in something, where you are yourself just getting started, but you kind of sound like you were saying the right things, and people will give you a chance, because there's not that many other experts. Like, if you go online, everybody seems to be like AI expert, but if you go offline, people are such beginners. I never meet people who are AI expert in the offline world. Like, people use ChatGPT like to get recipes, but that's not what I'm talking about. Like, actually doing smart good work, almost nobody that I'm meeting. And it's a gold mine, like total gold mine, right? So whatever you want to do, there's dozens of niches within doing AI related work for clients as an agency or a freelancer, doing the same kind of projects as a employee at a Fortune 500 company or a mid-sized company. Totally wide open field. There's not enough experts, like shortage of real good experts. And just like when I was young, when I was young, there was a shortage. I was like working in Silicon Valley in startups, right? There's like the startup, the internet just kind of happened, and there was like a shortage of programmers and testers. And even if you didn't have that many technical skills, you were like really still in demand and were getting good paying jobs. Is the same situation here. There's just like not enough AI experts, and all you have to do is just create one good like not, I don't want to say, I don't like saying toy project, but a project that's kind of a resume building project that can also become a business optionally. But any resume building project, you'll just learn so many things as long as it has potential to become a business, because then you'll learn all the peripheral things like, well, yeah, how do you build this thing? Okay, I built it. How do I promote this thing? Okay, here's how. How do I customize it? Okay, here's how. So the more real world it is, not only you're building your resume, but you're actually encountering real world problems, solving it, and getting actual real good experience that's very high paying in the industry. So that's my spiel for AI related, how to be flexible in 2026 with AI, and actually how to ride that wave and really succeed, because it's really wide open. um, it feels like it's not, but it totally is. The only thing you have to do is just kind of dig in and not be sitting there on the sidelines thinking like, well, AI, people are already ahead of me. Of course, a lot of people are ahead of you, but a lot of people, most people are behind. So that's the thing. And the most important thing is what I started this call with, is like not to be talking about it, and not to be, sad story or complaining about it, but actually doing. Let me catch up in the chat. Uh, I cannot pronounce this name, but I'm going to try. ADT Menon. Maybe you can help me out. Let me read your question. Welcome to the call. Hey, I have a, and I'll read your question. Hey, I currently own a creative agency in Spain. Cool, beautiful place, Valencia. Would you recommend me to start an AI website building service to local businesses? Totally. Um, I mean, today, as opposed to WordPress, I think WordPress is a little bit of yesterday, unless you really need some features of WordPress. In 20 minutes or an hour, or however long, you can have AI. Replit just will, like, I don't know if you've used Replit, but Replit is something that I use. I'm not associated or affiliated with them, um, but I do have a YouTube video on it. Let me actually get you that video. I have like a full course that I posted. Now it's a little outdated because, um, let me check. Mm, I'm in my. I'm trying to get this Replit thing, but Replit, it's hard to. 1 second. I was gonna get you a video. Yeah, here you go. How to build a website with Replit, and it's simple, super simple. I'm gonna paste it in the chat. So I took a course. I published it in about June or July. So the course on Udemy is paid, but I kept updating. So this video is a slightly outdated, but it's only outdated by a couple of months. So it's not very outdated. It's actually pretty pertinent. And it's not the full course, but it's like a lot of the course. And it's basically like, how do you use this Replit service to just create a website? You know, Essentially, it's like, for Replit is $25 a month. So it saves you a ton of so many hours, and it saves you um a lot of time. Let me quickly, yeah, Gemini 3 is really good. Yeah. You can create, I didn't know you can create websites with Gemini. I just don't use Gemini because I use like a different set of AI tools. But yeah, if you can use Gemini with that Replit, I don't know Gemini because I haven't used it, but the Replit is actually like a development environment, kind of like Lovable, or maybe you heard of Base 44, but Replit gives you a more control, which is why I like it. Like, it shows you what it's debugging, and you can kind of debug with it if you're building anything more complex. So it's just something that I've been using. It's not very good like backend programming. It still makes a lot of bugs, which is why I augmented with Claude. But like Claude or like ChatGPT, I don't think, I didn't try, but Claude for sure can't like make a website and can't host it. Replit actually lets you make a website right on it and host it, so that, and buy a domain name right on it, so that you can like in 20 or 30 minutes, or under 1 hour, like if you're not too aggressive, but like in under like an hour, you can have a website. Of course, you're gonna like edit some details like fonts and text. It's gonna take you longer, but the base of the website is like boom. Um, it's kind of faster and less clunky than uh, WordPress, unless you are super expert in WordPress. But WordPress, you just do a lot of stuff on your own. But Replit, you just type whatever you wanted to do, and it just makes it. So I've used it with like I'm happy with it. I'm not like always happy with Replit, but I'm mostly happy with Replit. Sometimes it makes stupid bugs and you have to test obviously. Um, like it's not. It's good at like you tell it what to make. It creates a website, host it. It's like a end-to-end A to Z solution, but it's just the AI of it is just not competitively strong with like good coding tools. Like for me, I use Claude, maybe Gemini in your case is better. So you like basically augment it. Sometimes when Replit does something stupid or hallucinates or just makes errors, I dump whatever it says into my Claude, and Claude tells me, hey, tell Replit what to do instead. And I paste that into Replit, and then Replit's like, oh yeah. Um, and Replit figures it out. So that way, I think works. And I think what you want is a hook for getting clients in. Like building websites is like just the beginning, because you build a website and then what, right? Because what you want to say is, hey, you need marketing. After the website, you need marketing, right? So you want to also have some AI tools or some digital marketing techniques and SEO tools that you can use and implement for the same clients. Because I think it's a missed opportunity if you just do, I'll build you a website. Yeah, you make a little money, but not that much, right? Because they know you're using AI. You have to be transparent about it, obviously. You don't have a choice, because if they want to see what's on the back end, you have to show them what you're doing. Um, so you're transparent, so they know you're using AI, so maybe it's not as expensive. But what you want to do is show them, hey, I'm expert in not only creating a website, but doing the SEO, doing the social media, automating it with AI, creating images, creating videos with AI, because today you can create videos with AI. So you basically want to offer an end-to-end entire marketing solution, which is ultimately effective. If it's not effective, they're just not going to retain you. But if you can make it effective, oh boy, that's a client that's going to stay with you for years, right? Because you're doing effective marketing for them. And that's tens of thousands of dollars compared to like a small website project. That's what I think a lot of, I don't know where you are with your business, but that's where a lot of like freelancers and agency owners and like solopreneurs, they want, they're chasing that near term money, right? How do I get this client for this thing? And then they want to make the most money for that little project. But that's wrong, because it's a little project, it's a little money, it doesn't change your life. What you really want is to actually, well, it's controversial because some people don't like it, but you want to provide extra value. So whatever money you charge, you want the value that you give to be excessive, so that the person thinks, oh my God, wow, like that's amazing. I want more of this. So they hire you for more of this, because your job is to serve and make sure they're successful. Not you're successful, they're successful. Because if they're successful, they're going to keep hiring you, and you'll be successful way more in the mid and the long term. And that's really how to succeed in a service business. And a lot of people who get into it, they get into it like, oh, I need to pay rent so this month, so I need to make money this month, and they miss that big picture thing. But um, it's really about, you got to please the customer so much that they cannot not hire you, right? You got to be the only option they have, because all the other freelancers are obviously chasing a dollar, negotiating their salary. But you're thinking, 3D chess kind of thing, right? Like thinking, I don't care about the little payment now. I want to make tens of thousands of dollars from this client by helping them succeed, by giving them tremendous value, so that like they don't want to, they're, I want them to not want to lose me, if that makes sense. This is how you make like this is how you create a really big, sizable business for yourself with services. And you never do if you don't provide that crazy amount of value, because you keep on having to get little clients here and there, website for you, little SEO for you, but then they kind of see, oh, like I'm just getting okay value, and they're not that compelled to keep on hiring you, and you always have to restart with new clients and thinking, why are these clients so low paying? What's wrong with the client? It's not the clients, it's they're just not getting an insane amount of value. um and I'm just reading the comments. So you're saying currently doing organic content for local restaurants, cleaning. That's cool. So yeah, so that's a really good upsell for these businesses because you can keep on creating content. That's a good idea. um I think today, because you have AI and you don't have to do a lot of programming, you can venture out beyond creating content. Like, what if you propose like creating a mobile app? Mobile apps are annoying to create even with AI. I've tried actually. It's a different animal, but it's an example of like, what if you suggest creating some kind of a widget or a calculator for restaurants or whatever. Like, I don't know. um, those niches, I don't know off the top of my head what it can be, but if you think a little bit, there can be maybe some software, um, maybe for internal use, for external use, I don't know, but something interesting, like maybe for their marketing, something. If you think about it, if you think about their needs, whatever that they need automated, whatever they need outsourced, whatever is repetitive that they do in their day, if you can create a little software for it and you already have those clients, that's perfect. You can propose to them and they'll literally pay you to develop it. And you can sell that thing to other restaurants. This is a fantastic model. I'm just going to read the comments. So we also focus on branding and yeah, cool. Branding and brand identity. It could also be rebrands. Yeah, all that stuff. I think so. This is it's great. Like all the upsells are great. I think today there's just so many opportunities that are opened up because you can literally make more stuff. Like it's now you can just do beyond content creation, website creation, design, right? That's been there, but now there's just all these other things like it's hard to know for these businesses off the top of my head because I'm trying to talk fast. But if I probably wake up tomorrow, by tomorrow I would have some ideas for it. But it's usually within the realm of like, what is the repetitive thing that they do that they hate doing? Maybe inventory management for restaurants. I don't know if they, if like it's any kind of sophisticated thing, or maybe it's you know unsophisticated. If it's unsophisticated and you see you have one client, two clients, three clients, and they're using unsophisticated pen and paper sort of methods for managing inventory, for doing other things, um, and maybe it's taking more time than they desire, then you're like, hey, maybe there's something you can build for them. And especially, you don't have to build and sell. You can ask them, if I build this, would you buy it? Or better yet, how about pay me to build it and you'll get a discount forever or something like that. Very, very, so they can actually pay you to build stuff. And once you build something like that for one business, you can build it for other businesses. And as long as you have these kinds of clients, it's an easy upsell. So there's just more opportunity. That's what I'm kind of saying, like with AI. Like, you don't want to think like, oh, it's been done. The perfect thing is to be digging into some niche and be like, now I understand the challenges in this niche that the old web, like just with content creation and images and videos, couldn't really solve, but now it can. Like, for example, now you can create video with AI. Like, if you film, as an example, today there's a software called AI. It's an AI tool called Next Gen. I'll type it, Next Gen. It's kind of good. I tried it. It's not like super perfect, but or it's nextgen.ai. Something like this. Again, I'm not promoting them for any reason other than I think they're just helpful. So they can take like a 30-second clip of you talking about anything, your face, and then you can give it any other script, and they can make a video with your face and your facial features and mannerisms saying anything else. So now the busy CEO all they ever have to do is um, make a 30-minute video, 30-second, and then as a marketer, you can give them create for them a YouTube channel. They don't have to film it. It's just with AI. All you have to do is give the script. YouTube channel, recipes, marketing promotions, all like video based, right? So now it's suddenly going on TikTok, Instagram. There's so much more content you can create for them with almost less work because it's like AI does it. So all these kinds of things are really interesting, and not only it's more upsells, but like at some point maybe like is actually stuff that helps them get actual more clients, and then once they get more clients, then they're very happy. Um, yeah, did you find this video from Udemy or just browsing YouTube? I'm curious because if Udemy, I'm curious which course of mine you're taking, just for my own curiosity. Um, and yeah, if you have any challenges you want to talk through or ask questions, let me know. Um, cool. I see what you're heading up. All right, cool. Um, of course, you're welcome to come back anytime. Hopefully, those ideas were helpful. If I was doing service-based businesses, that's what I would be doing. I would be like working with my clients to give them super extra value, but also talking to them about, hey, can we build this? Can we build that? Can we fund it so that I can get funding for creating it? And then once I create it for one restaurant or one cleaners or something, I would sell it to all of them. That's actually a really strong business pattern today, is like create some kind of a software with AI, and then suddenly a lot of other companies need that too. And then suddenly you have a really good, software as a service business. Today, that's a really popular pattern. I would be doing this if I was working with clients and if I had time. Today, like now, my project that I'm doing, I'll share. I have a cryptocurrency token. It's the SPRK token, .sprktoken.com. I'll post a link to the video about it, just if people are curious. Um, SPRK token. I'll post a video explaining the token if people want to, after this video, check it out. But basically, it's a token that I made to fund creative projects. If you want to write a book, if you do want to do art, music, or online entrepreneurship, it's all under that umbrella. You want to create an online course, but you don't want to create it while not making money, right? If you want to do like Patreon style where you get paid in advance and by fundraising and getting donations. So you can do that in a financially more advantageous way if you do the cryptocurrency. And so what I'm doing for this token is, it's a Solana based token. So it has all the features of Solana, which is one of the major cryptocurrencies, but you can program in additional features. So for example, one thing I'm programming now is, let's say you're an artist and you're getting paid by donors to fund your work. Well, when you sell your art, there's a feature where you can redistribute some of that through cryptocurrency to the donors. And the donors who not just donated, but made a profit because you published and sold your work, they'll be more incentivized to donate you for your future projects. So you always kind of have funding. So I'm literally creating features like that by programming it with AI. It's challenging and it has all these like nuances, but this is why I can't do this other style businesses where it's software as a service. But it's very, very viable. And it's one of the things I would like, let's say what I'm doing now goes out of business tomorrow. The next day, I'm literally going to go on Fiverr and create gigs for like, I'm going to do this for your business with AI. I'm going to do this with AI so that I can get paid to create stuff with AI, right? People are going to hire me. And then I'm going to have practical projects, and I'm going to go and do networking for, getting these kind of practical projects from entrepreneurs out there. And pretty soon, I'm going to come up with some software that I built with AI that I get paid to build buy these people, and then I'm gonna just sell it, right? So um, it's a pattern that, there's other patterns that you can, there's other business patterns you can apply, but this is like a no-brainer. It's so, step one, step two, there's such an outline for it, it's such a template. And by the way, I want to remind people, if you have any questions, if you're joining from Udemy, whatever course you're taking of mine, feel very welcome to ask questions. This call is specifically to help anyone. Because it's a call format, I'm able to answer more elaborately, with more detail, much better than I can by typing in Udemy chat or YouTube comments, whatever. So if anybody has questions, let me know. If anybody wants to just say hello in the chat, I don't know who you are in the chat, unless you say hello. So because it's private until you chat. So if you want to say hi, ask any questions, feel very welcome, because I spent a while on this call already talking about the skills for AI in 2026, whether you're doing digital marketing, entrepreneurship, or like a 9 to 5 job. I talked about the mindset for it. So I've talked kind of a lot about it. If you're just joining the beginning of the call, I really shared something that I experienced for many years of helping entrepreneurs to get entrepreneurs to stop being their own worst enemy and stop procrastinating. Because I find that it's so unintuitive. Like, if you're an entrepreneur, why do you even have a concern of like procrastination? Why would you procrastinate? Like, it boggles my mind, because I'm like, just go and do. But it's actually a minority thing. Like, most people don't do. Most people like talk about it, procrastinate, put it off, try a little bit and then don't have the consistency. So earlier in the call, I kind of talked about this like 80-20 rule that I'm sort of working on and coining, where it's like 80% work for 20% talking. So people who want to talk, yeah, you can talk, but like, show me what you've done, right? So it's like almost like an accountability thing. Um, don't know what I'm going to call it. Don't know exactly how I'm going to make it a thing, but I think I'm going to try to make it a thing, because in my time in doing business coaching, the most heartbreaking thing has always been like, people are like, I want to do this, but then they never do it, and they're like always their own worst enemy. So um, it's interesting for me to help them, because it's such a like, it's always like nice people too. Like, I'm always like, I wish I can help this person, and you have your heart currency, right? You like put your heart into it, and then you like can't help them. You're like, the next person comes along. Oh, they're so close. I wish I can help them. You put your heart into it. You think about their life and their issues. You give them the best advice you can think of. And you're like, if only they do this, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. If only they do this, they will succeed. And then they don't. So it's such a pattern that it's an interesting one for me to tackle, because it also feels very unresolved a lot of times, where it's like, sometimes these people become my friends, and 10 years later, I talk to them and they're still talking to me about the same thing. And they're like, okay, like, I wish I could have helped you, because we're still talking about the same thing. If you had worked consistently, we could have been talking about some fascinating next challenges. So yeah, that's kind of just helping entrepreneurs and professionals move forward, because they just, for some reason, just don't, from there's many causes for it, but at the end of the day, they just don't. But in any case, um, I guess maybe next office hours, that's what I'll do, is I'll try to, by that time, create a framework for this. Um, and maybe, because I have a procrastination course, maybe I'll reach out to the people in that course to see if they would like to maybe form some kind of a community or a regular call group, so that we can explore this, maybe. Um, feel like I need to pull some psychology research, because even though I have not come across psychological research about this, or scientific research, I'm sure there is. Um, I mean, there's like known things, right? People procrastinate because of fear of failure, fear of rejection. There's a bunch of fears, but I don't think it really. answers the question, because a lot of people that I talk to in entrepreneurship, they don't have like fears of failure or rejection or things like this, or like they feel that project is too daunting. Maybe that's the thing. People feel that their projects are too daunting. They don't know where to start. Maybe that's the thing. Sometimes when I start new projects, that's like a problem for me too. Like it's just not comfortable yet. Like something that I've been doing every day for the last 10 years. Yeah, it's easy to do. Just have to sit down and do it. Don't have to think about it. It's easy. But something new is hard to get into, no matter how trivially easy it might seem. So maybe something like that. Hey, I got a comment here. Silent Arcos. How do I stay consistent with something and not get burned out? Okay, it would be helpful if you were more specific. Like, what is it, the thing that you're getting burned out, and why do you get burned out, and what are you trying to be consistent in? Because consistency is like really the key to success. Because we all get frustrated. It's all about how we recover ourselves from being frustrated. Um, and if we can manage our psychology, then of course, uh, we can stay consistent and ultimately succeed, because so many things you fail for a long time. Like like in some projects in my life, I've been successful, and then I thought, oh, next projects I'll be also successful. But everything I start, there's like a failure. So I learned that even if you're successful at one thing, I'm not like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. I'm a mere human. So like you're always going to go through a long period of failure, like 1 year, maybe 2 years, not like 2 weeks or a month, right? Because people always think, oh, 2 weeks or a month, but it's really like you got to pick your project and then give yourself a long time to figure it out, because otherwise, if you stress in the short term, that's just going to lead to failure. Let me catch up with the comments. So Mary Taylor, hey, hello. Welcome to the call. Says, I've been reading a lot lately about connections between ADHD and yeah, there is, of course, a very big link between ADHD and procrastination. ADHD is something that psychologists and psychiatrists are trained to handle. So I don't really touch that topic, because I'm not a psychologist or a psychiatrist. It would be irresponsible of me to tackle issues like that. I can try, but it would be silly. Like, it would be like, when a non-expert tries to dig into a complex field where, there's maybe like pharmacology that's necessary or not. And it's like, I'm not the one who would decide on that. But there's certainly a link. One thing I do know is that many of the techniques that cure procrastination also aid people who are experiencing who have ADHD, like getting better sleep, um, being trying to be more organized, just self-management, right? Better, more, managing diet, hydration, exercise. Those things help to control your mind. Those are things I understand that are true in people who suffer from ADHD, and it really helps to focus a little more, and with that helps to do the work. So these kinds of things, yeah, they help, but I'm not an expert in that particular topic, so I try to steer a little clear. Let me keep reading the comments. Silent Arcos. By the way, Silent Arcos, if you want me to call you by your name, I can do that if you let me know your name. Because here I just use the screen name. But it says here, I do recording and editing. I don't know how I get burned out, but I am staying consistent for a few months. One day I won't do something, and then it's just a whole lot to get. Yeah. Getting back into projects is a pain, especially if the projects have been a pain, right? Like when the projects don't succeed, they're kind of like a source of pain. Um, like they're hard to motivate yourself, and they're hard to get back into, because it's like, well, your heart has been broken before, right? Like you had your hopes up one day, you put out your video, then it's like, not, it wasn't as successful as you wanted. Then you put even more effort in the next one, more time, then that's not as successful as you wanted, then the 10th one is not as successful as you wanted, and by the time it gets to 100, or some whatever number, like it's really hard to keep going, because like, what's the point? It's just not working, right? So one thing is to problem solve, like, Um, like every video has to be better. So don't make a lot of the same. Make like, okay, one video didn't succeed, show it to friends or look at it yourself, watch it and be like, why did this not work? Is it the lighting? Is it my speech? Is it the actual video is just not competitive with competitor quality? And then improve at least one thing. And then it's going to be better. And then, watch your retention and all this stuff and just make sure it's better. Right. So less work, but focused on improvement, and 30 or 50 incremental improvements over time will just take you to a different stratosphere. This is how people, takes a long time, but people, that's why consistency works. And just don't get your hopes up for like the next thing, the next anything, the next client, the next video, the next blog post. Usually it's going to be just as unsuccessful as the previous one, right? It just takes so many. Like in entrepreneurship, it's like it's mostly failing. It's like failing, 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 something works. And then you like again, failing, 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 something works. The thing you can also do is like join masterminds groups. You can get coaching, you can get, consistently work on that kind of thing, so you get the right kind of help and surround yourself with people who know. But it's like the mindset is like, if your mindset is like, I hope the next one works, I hope the next one works, you're basically setting yourself up for disappointment. But if your mindset is like, I don't really care if the next one, I mean, I wanted to succeed, but I kind of know it's going to fail, but my goal is like, I don't want to stress out about now, I want in 2 years or in 3 years to be super super successful. That's how they do it, because if you chase the next thing, the next video, it's super stressful, there's a lot of pressure, and with that disappointment, and it's just not a good mental space, and it's hard to get back in. um Let me catch up with your comments. I spent so long on YouTube video and it barely gets it. Yeah, me too, actually. Recently, like in 2012, I started this channel, or 2013, and it was like so easy. Those videos were not even good that I posted then, and I got a few million views. They were just like, they still get those videos, for some reason, are still getting views, even the horribly made videos, where like they were just bad. And then now this year, I kind of decided, okay, I'm gonna reapproach my YouTube, and I'm gonna like wake it up. And it's been like a challenge. It's like I get very few views on a lot of videos, but and it's not my priority, because it's like the not even the second or third or fourth priority in what I'm doing. It's like a low priority YouTube, but it's not succeeding. Some videos get like 11 views, and I'm like, 11 views, that's failing so bad. But I'm like, all right, just next, you know I also fall into this thing where it's like I only have like 5 minutes a day to spend on YouTube, so I can't really. But then I'm kind of trying, shooting a lot of darts at the board, and some things are succeeding, and then I'm like, oh, okay, some things are working, some things are not working. I'm like, let's do more of what's working. And it's kind of slowly figuring it out, maybe too slowly, but a lot of times it's like that. Like you think it's going to be like linear, and incremental, but a lot of times it's like this, and then something happens and you're fine. Or sometimes it doesn't, so but your job is just to like, don't put too much pressure on the short term. One, you're just going to make yourself feel terrible, but two, it's just, yeah, I think that's a part of the burnout, but it's just not the right mindset. um Let me continue. Let me just catch up and read your comment. How do we continue going? Literally everyone. Don't listen to people who are demotivating you. If people are asking you, so how is your channel going? How is it going? How is it doing? You say always, great. It doesn't feel genuine, and it's not genuine. But there's a lot of people who have no clue. Like most people have no clue. Like people always ask me, like any project that I start, for some reason, people are negative, or they make you feel negative. Like when you're failing at something, or you feel like you're failing at something, and people ask you, how is your YouTube going? You like, I don't want to, I mean, that kind of, it reminds you that you're not doing well and it's failing. So it makes you feel worse about it. That's, you don't get into those conversations with people who don't know, because they ask the wrong things. This is not the right question, because it's not a short-term thing. Like, yeah, I'm fine failing now, but it's like hard to explain it to a beginner, because they're a beginner. They're not even like, like, if you're, let's say, playing soccer, or something, maybe you're not a professional, but also people who are like first day playing soccer, they don't belong on your field, right? Because they're gonna like just fall over themselves and be silly on your field, right? If you're somewhere like kind of experienced. So why you don't let them, total beginners, play against you for the most part? It just would be silly. So you don't let total beginners discuss business with you. It's just a mistake. This is something I learned over time, because beginners would be leading you into the most unhelpful mindsets and trains of thoughts you can ever get, because they always lead you like, they want you to say like you're succeeding. They want positive, 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 and you want to tell them positive, positive, but it's not like that. It's patient. The game is patient, 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 patient. They don't understand. People who are persistent and patient and smart about it, and kind of even keel, they win. Of course, there's stories of like somebody out there got lucky and somebody succeeded, but this is not the rule. The rule is like most people struggle, struggle, struggle. This is where you are. Just don't talk to people who are beginners, because they don't. The beginners who like never done YouTube videos on their own, never tried anything. They're not. They don't belong on that soccer field. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, yeah. And don't get into those conversations, because people always want to know, are you making money, right? And it's the dumbest questions. And they're like, just tell them, yeah, a lot. Whatever. Like, tell you always say it's great. I'm very happy with it. And it's always like closed questions, unless you see that somebody really helpful and actually like smart person. But people who are like novices or whatever, like, it might, like, I'm kind of an open person, so I try to, I'm usually have open answers and I explain things, but it's an error. It's always like it's got to be things are great, because they're just going to ruin your mindset, and then it's hard for you. Maximize retention. That's the YouTube thing, right? So you can post, if you want. You cannot post a link to your video, because YouTube doesn't let you, but you can email me a link to your video now if you want, and I can take a look while we're on the call. And we can I can give you like some basic tips, but it's really like have strong opening, good audio, good video, look at competitor videos, see what they're doing, that's amazing, do that too. Stuff like that, like kind of like basics, but there's so many of these things. Better speech, better lighting, better microphone, um Roblox gaming content. I don't know anything about it other than like, I don't even play that game, so I don't know how helpful I would be. um it feels like a competitive space. And I don't know, maybe you can tell me, is it like a space where it has had its heyday, has passed, or is it like a space where it's actually a growing space? Because I know Roblox is like 10 years old or something, right? So is it maybe losing popularity, or kind of staying maybe plateaued, still growing? um I don't know, but if it's a very old space, maybe you want to pick something similar, but like a newer space where it's like not as saturated. If you're not like super into Roblox like forever, if you're able to switch it. um, Let me know if you end up emailing me, but I don't even know that I'd be so helpful with Roblox content, because I just don't know. I would be trying stuff, but I don't know why people watch that. I just don't know, Um, like the video game content, I don't have any experience in it. One time I tried to, I think I got some email. Oh, YouTube video. Let me watch it. Let me watch it, and I'll actually share my screen so people watching it can watch it. Let's see. So I've got the link. I'm going to paste it into my YouTube here, and then I'm going to, let me do this. Share screen. Share screen. The share screen button is a very, looks similar and kind of, well, not, it's kind of close to end stream. I'm always in danger of pressing that. But here's this thing. Let's watch it. Here I am in the beginning. So by the way, I don't know if this is good or bad for Roblox content, just because I just don't know. But let's see. Noob to max with no Robux in blah, 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 fruits, blocks fruits. I don't know. This is like Greek, but for me, but it seems like, yeah, from newbie, how to go to experience quickly, I guess. 41 minutes is a long video, but let's see. Maybe people watch because it's live. I don't know. Okay, let's see. But this is good. This is 3.2 thousand views. It's actually really good. My videos don't get anywhere close to that these days. But let me watch. One thing I would say is you want to enunciate a little bit, because I don't fully understand everything you're saying. One, I'm a noob, right? This is for noobs, and I'm a noob. So a lot of the terminology is new, and you're going over it very quickly. You really want to enunciate every vowel and say everything clearly, because a lot of people just won't understand, and if people don't understand, you will lose retention immediately. So that's one thing that I would suggest. It's a hard thing to fix because it's how you talk, but you've got to talk in a different way. You can't mumble, because I hear some mumbling, and it's not the right way to make videos. Because I can hear kind of a breathy. It's like a breathy voice. You want to open your mouth a little more, enunciate, that kind of thing. From now on, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know if the gameplay is good. I don't know, or maybe for noobs, there's just a lot of content for noobs. So I don't honestly know. Um, Sometimes if there's so much content about a topic, like beginner roadblocks, right? I'm sure there's like 10,000 videos on that. Then YouTube just doesn't promote um the new videos, because they're like, okay, it's the same thing as before. Regarding the 20 seconds, I don't know about the 20 seconds, like um and it wasn't that you were talking fast, it was that you weren't enunciating. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, now I'm enunciating every word, I'm focusing on it, and I'm making sure that you can understand it, and I'm opening my mouth widely so that I can enunciate every part of every word, because I don't know if people are listening in their English second language, or maybe they just don't understand my terminology. So I want to enunciate. And I can do this fast. You can speak fast. It's not a speed thing, but it has to be clear. Of course, if you're just starting doing this, you want to be interesting. So, you want to talk like faster, because people are going to get bored if you don't, but you don't want to talk so fast that they can't understand what you're saying. Um, so it's an enunciation issue. And people with like English second language, like I am, and I think maybe you are also. I couldn't quite pick up on the accent. It's definitely for video creation. Enunciation is giant, because a lot of people will be like, I don't understand what they're saying. And then there's no retention. You can't retain that person ever. So that's an immediate thing that will help. Is it going to help so tremendously? I cannot tell, but I think it will be significant. But I cannot, guarantee. Um, Regarding the video, I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad, because I just don't know that game, and I don't know. I've never seen other similar videos. To me, it was just some person running around doing basic things, and then I get bored. But it's because I'm not a player of that game. Cool. I'm glad it's helpful. I don't know, by the way, I usually used to do these calls for 2 hours, but I think it's a little long. I was going to cap it at like 1 hour today. Um, but I just want to check if anybody out there has additional questions, or if you have any more additional questions. Um, are you in my YouTube course, by the way, because you're dealing with YouTube, or are you in a different course? Or maybe you just found me on YouTube. I don't know where. But let me know. Yeah. And let me know if you have any more questions. Otherwise, I've been yapping for about an hour, a little more. Um, Oh, cool. Yeah, if you're in my YouTube course, you can always send me messages, questions through Udemy, because then I always respond to those. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, like because it's kind of a Saturday, and on Saturday, relatively few people join me on these calls. So I'll try to have a non-Saturday call sometime in December, like on a weekday. Um, because I tried 3 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 p.m. Eastern, which people in Europe, in theory, could have joined because it's not incredibly late for them, but it's a little late. Um, Mary Taylor, you're in the Canva course. The Canva course is, I'm not the main instructor, but thanks for joining anyway. Yeah, it's at 12 a.m. So I'll try one day to do morning my time so everybody in the world can join. So I'll try to do that in December. Maybe later December I'll have time because I'll have like family out of town, so I'll have more flexibility in my day. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful. And I'll try to, all the things I talked about today, like how to fix procrastination and all this stuff. I'll try to crystallize it a little bit more in my mind. Maybe I'll do something with it, and have hopefully follow up things on it. So yeah, for today, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate that you're taking my courses. Thank you for that, of course. And if you have any questions, always you can reach out to me through Udemy. It doesn't have to be just these calls, but this is just a way for me to provide longer answers. So yeah, thank you, and have a great rest of your day.